Well, greetings there. Don't be shy. Come on up those steps and join us for an episode of Convincing Idiots. This week we're discussing all kinds of things. You know us friends, we like to get together and chat, check in with one another. We're going to discuss some new news in the DC Comics universe, as well as, now, children, if you're listening, plug your ears, because this next the segment after that might be for adults only. We're going to discuss some OnlyFans topics. And then for our main segment, it is a very big week. The Super Bowl is upon us. So, the three of us meet in our podcast gridiron and discuss memories of Super Bowls past. So without further ado, let's start the show.
All right. Test.
Test.
Test. What do you call it again? Convincing Idiots. Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today,
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Awesome.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
And welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean. They call me the Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And my name is Nick, and I am a millennial. And we are Convincing Idiots, and we are rip, roaring, and ready to go. This is a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together every week and discuss pop and nerd culture, things like that we like, things in the news, all that fun stuff. We review things, we rate things we've seen. And speaking of which, if you haven't already done so, you should be rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing, all that stuff on social media. Be sure to poke us on Facebook, put us in your top 9 on MySpace, whatever you like to do. We might not be on all those, but for all the ones that we are on, you can find links to those on our Convincing Idiots link tree. So just go over to Google, type in Convincing Idiots link tree, LINKTREE, and there you will find links to all of our social media accounts. So please be sure to help us out. Like I said, rating and reviewing us in podcast platforms is very helpful for our show as well, so other people can listen and discover us. We can also give you that information on our website. That's convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So go over to that, check it out, learn a little bit about the hosts. We have a merch store up there as well. You can click around on there. There's other ways to help the show. So yeah, be sure to step on over to the website. And after you've done all that, if you would be so kind, go check us out on Boss Code Media. Boss Code Media, Boss Code TV. These are apps you can download on your smartphone or on your smart TV from your app store, whichever you choose. We are on there at Boss Code Media as our friends that like to produce all kinds of content creator-driven content. We are on there as well as our friends at It Came From Gen X, so please be sure to check us out there.
I know those
as well.
guys.
Yeah, good dudes over there. Good dudes.
Most of them.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, unfortunately, some of the best ones don't join us here every week, but yeah, it's yeah.
What you gonna do?
That's right. So here we are, another week once again together, boys. I feel like I always start with Brian. So Dean, I'd like to know what you have been up to since we last spoke. How have you been, my friend?
I am rolling. Rolling.
Like Limp Bizkit rolling, or are we talking?
No, like more of a gambler or I'm high. We tried to figure that out earlier before the show started. I can't tell which one, but either way,
I like both of those better than my Limp Bizkit one, so that's good. Okay.
Right. I don't have the ball cap for that, so what you gonna do?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Just hanging out, living, loving, fucking, doing all the things. How's your mom? Just a random question. What's up?
She's well. She
Good.
also said that she was rolling recently, so it's just, didn't know.
That's not
really
a
know.
fucking coincidence.
I didn't really know what that meant, but Mom,
rolling up on here. No, I just haven't. Honestly, just working. I haven't really done anything special. Hung out with Brian a few times here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Because he likes to hang out with me.
Yeah, that's good.
When I invite him to things, he shows up. He mans up.
Okay.
He likes being my friend.
I see. Okay, good for him. Weird, but odd choice, but okay.
on whose part?
Brian's absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course. All right. No, we were in the store the other day. Actually, today. No, Megan and I. And
I spend all my out time with Brian now, actually.
We're at Hobby Lobby shopping for knickknacks and so forth. Yeah.
Picture frames and things like that.
Skipping down the aisle.
Did you see that?
No, Megan and I were shopping for deodorant. I wanted to try some new deodorant. You ever
Thank you.
You wanted to try new deodorant, or Megan strongly suggested you try new deodorant?
Why can't it be both?
Okay, all right.
Why don't you mind your own goddamn business?
All right, no, good for you for making a choice for you. That's good.
We had a friend petition we submitted to Megan for consideration. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't give her much praise until you finish. Let me finish the story here. What had happened is I'm picking out deodorant, and it's like a sandalwood scent. I thought you were
going to say sandwich, and I was like, that makes sense for you. This one smells like sandwich.
Who smells like a turkey sandwich? What the fuck is that?
It's actually Turkey Club. Did you miss the ham? The ham aroma in there?
But she hands me the one that smells like sandalwood and wood shavings or vanilla or some shit like that.
Is this an Everyman Jack scent?
Yeah,
Everyman Jack. Okay.
I think I had that one. That's the one. And she goes, smell this. What does this smell like? I said, smell. She goes, does it smell like an old man? I said, smells like a sexy old man. She goes, I bet Brian wears this.
Oh,
thank you.
You're in there, Brian.
I guess.
So she thinks you're a sexy old man.
Am I a sexy old man? Jesus Christ.
Hey, take the sexy and move along.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Some people don't even get that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Right. Don't.
That's what you took away from that?
Right. You're getting sexy, and then all you hear is old. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. Take it where you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And and then we picked up like a can of garbage. She goes, "Hey, when's the last time you seen Nick?" Anyways, that's hot can of garbage.
Hot can. It's like hot garbage.
I don't know why they were heating it. It was very weird. Fuck it. That's what's going on in my neck of the woods. Brian, how about you?
Well, when I'm not smelling like a sexy old man,
you got no choice, really.
Thank you. No, it was a nice weekend last weekend. So we celebrated early the birthday of my daughter's very nice boyfriend, Joey. So his birthday is
Joey.
That's right. So we're shooting this on Thursday, February 2nd. Now his 25th birthday is February the 3rd, so tomorrow. So by the time this drops, he would have celebrated his 25th birthday and fun. All that. So we had
tell him he's lucky he got there.
That's right. He is. He is. He won't get to 26 if he doesn't continue to treat my daughter with some fucking respect and courtesy.
One slip up, Joey. One slip up.
That's right. I hope he's listening. God damn it.
Oh, this brings up a great plug. By the way, check out our merch store for the hashtag Team Joey shirts. Those are dropping pretty soon.
Right.
There ain't no goddamn Joey shirts.
Hashtag Team Joey.
In all seriousness, he's a very nice young man.
Slip up and get a zip up.
Treats Peyton very well.
As if this were a court of law, Brian always has to reiterate, just so everyone knows, that Joey is actually very nice.
He is a nice
and he
guy.
likes Joey.
No, because he knows when something happens to Joey, they're going to come to this fucking show and accuse Brian. So he's got to cross all his T's, dot his I's. Actually, they're going to fucking look at me.
Oh yeah,
That's
there's
right.
a
Hey.
ominous weird guy in a '70s leather jacket that's been talking about taking a hit out on somebody for like
What? This
months on
jacket
end.
is beautiful, and a beautiful man wore it before me, and
That's right.
I
It is
can't
a
hold
nice
a
jacket.
candle to
That's right.
the beauty of that
That is-
man, but
That is a
I'm at
family
least trying.
heirloom. Yes.
That's right.
Yes, yeah. Try to be cool in that jacket. Yeah. So we went out to. I'll give a shout out to Casa Nueva. It's a nice Italian Mexican place. Jesus, in Stowe, Ohio. So if you're in the Stowe, Ohio area, Northeast Ohio area, Casa Nueva, very cool Mexican place. Very unique menu. A lot of Mexican restaurants are very good, but it seems like it's the same menu across several of them. This had a lot of unique dishes and blends and all that. So very good. Go check them out. We had a very wonderful evening together. Mom, me, Allie, Peyton,
Did you have margarita?
Joey. Yes, I had a couple. Absolutely.
I had
Very
a banana
nice.
one tonight.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
A banana margarita.
Yeah, from the one down the road by my house.
Oh.
Very good.
Megan,
That's a nice,
and I went there to eat.
nice
Yeah,
place
it's
as
very
well.
good.
Anyway, so we did that nice quality time with Allie. And then tonight, again, this is Thursday, I went out with my lovely friends, the Cunninghams. Their mom passed away 2 years ago. So, Nancy was like one of my second moms growing up. You have those close friends growing up, and you have, you kind of get acquainted with their parents, and you love them almost like your own parents. So she passed away 2 years ago today. So it's very nice to get together on this anniversary last couple of years, and it's nice to be invited to that, like part of the family. So
Yeah.
very, very nice.
You
So,
know somebody that long, that is family. You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah, I've known them since I met Jim in 1987, and we've been very good friends, like brothers ever since. So
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, very nice to spend time with them, nice reminiscing time and all that good stuff. So
I'm real close to
Yeah.
Nick's mom.
Been friends for quite a while now, haven't you?
That's right.
in all seriousness, just real quickly. So now, Nick, you're only child too, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about you. So I am an only child as well. So it's maybe you can relate to this. Just when you have those type of friends, it's
He
just
ain't had no friends.
I don't have anybody like that. I don't. I've got my oldest friend is
Yeah,
somebody
go
I've known
ahead.
since middle school. I mean, that's about it. But like,
Okay.
it's we're not. Our families aren't close. Like kids that I grew up with,
Mhm.
I don't really talk to anymore. So
Wow.
I mean,
That's
the closest thing I have to family is basically like my hockey team now. But that's really kind of. But I mean, it's not like I've known them all for since I was a kid or whatever. That's really cool. You have it because I think that's pretty rare. Like you tend to kind of.
So you got no other friends that are close like family? None? Just the hockey
maybe
team?
one. Like my friend John is probably one.
Oh, okay, good. That's good. He's a good dude.
He's a good. I was gonna say he hangs out with you.
Speaking of John, I hung out with him this weekend.
That's
and
right. Yes, you
I'm
did.
going to save that for my reviews of what I watched.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
Dean, Nick has his work friends, so we kind of
Well, sure.
fit into that
That's right.
sort of category.
Yep.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
That doesn't really count. He doesn't do fucking work on here.
No, I was just asking because as an only child, when I've been fortunate to have very close, some good friends for many years, so that I feel like they're siblings of mine. I was just curious if you had that same type of thing. So
yeah, that's very
anyway.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when you're like you said, going back all those years and being kids. I mean, your lives change so much. People change, people grow, people do different things, and sometimes they grow apart and they don't, they lose touch or whatever. So the fact that, and you've got quite a few friends like that.
Yeah.
There's a whole group of you.
Well, yeah, and
Yeah.
you alone from you guys came from Gen X. That really, every time I listen to that podcast, it really shines through like how long you guys have been friends. It's really cool that you've been able to high school.
Yeah.
You guys have all been friends since. So,
Yes.
but yeah, that's pretty cool, man. That's
See,
really
I have
an
theory.
accomplishment.
I have a theory that you guys don't necessarily like enjoy each other that much. You're just too fucking lazy to find new friends.
Well, that's probably something to be said.
There's something to be said
Yeah.
to be getting settled into your ways. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like at this point,
you reach
tell stories to new people. Like
Right.
You reach 50. You reach 50
fine.
years old. It's like you're fucking exhausted. Right? You got to take on some new friends. I mean, Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have time for
You're
that.
trying to get rid of some. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just tired.
Well, at this age,
tired.
it's probably easy.
It's tiring. Yeah. No, but anyways, that's with me. So, Nick, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I also celebrated a birthday this weekend. We went to my cousin's boyfriend Josh. It was his birthday this weekend, and we went out to Top Golf. I don't know if either of you've ever been before. It was my first time.
I'd
I'd never
one
been.
time. Fun time.
Yeah.
Hold on, did you say your cousin, brother's, sister's former roommate?
Yes. That was my
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. that's a Spaceballs thing, and I get that.
It is. There you go.
Not that I've seen it, but I know that that's what it's from. Because my son's seen it a bunch of times, so I know what it's from.
At least
but
what
yes.
he has spaced.
That's right. There you go. See? One of us. There you go.
Movie Quotes episode last week. Go check it out. Thank you.
That's right.
Good plug. Good plug.
Mhm.
But yeah, anyway, Topgolf was a fucking blast. Like, it's essentially golf bowling, really. You're in this swanky little, booth area with a nice table, and they bring you the food and drinks that you order and stuff. And there's different ways you can play the games. Like, you can either just go for longer shot, you can aim for targets that are out there. There was an Angry Birds game to where you're like hitting balls to where you're knocking over the house, the pigs and stuff. And it was a lot of fun. It was a fucking blast. It's very expensive, but it's
That's what I hear.
of fun. Yeah, like I don't know.
Rockside Road? Rockside Road?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Correct. Independence. Is that what? Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, man, that was awesome. I mean, it's just it was nice. I mean, like, it's end of January when we went last weekend, and it's cold outside, but they got those big heaters over you. I mean, you're comfortable out there, and just felt nice to get out there and hit some balls.
Did you have? How was the heat? Like, did you have to wear a jacket or coat, or were you finding shirt sleeves?
I started with I had a denim jacket on, and then so I wore that for a while, and then I took that off. I mean, you'd be comfortable in a hoodie or whatever. I mean, it's
okay.
It's this time of year when it's cold out, because I mean, it keeps it nice and toasty right where you're golfing. I mean, it's not cold, you're not uncomfortable by any means. But yeah, man, top notch place. Like, it was really cool. So the food was delicious. You guys would be happy to know that I had an old fashioned while I was there, and that also was wonderful.
There you go.
So good. Yeah, man, it was cool. I was pretty happy for not having picked up a golf club in almost a year and a half. I was pretty happy with the drives I was making. So
nice.
Looking for, kind of got me the itch to get back out there and stuff.
Well,
you can't afford to go to the top. What's that?
Well, I just said you got to get ready for the Convincing Idiots Open this summer.
Yes, yeah, I think that'd be awesome. So, but yeah, man, it's like I said, you can't afford to go there a lot. It's very pricey, but definitely something fun to do, especially this time of year when the weather's, you can't actually go golfing, and it's not golfing. It's just you're hitting balls. It's a driving range, but kind of in, like I said, a bowling alley format. But yeah, man, awesome time. Very, very cool. Very, very strongly recommended.
There's a version of it, Nick. I've not been to it. There's a version of it in Firestone Park now. That's some country club there.
I heard that it's it's a Top Golf Light kind of deal. It's not quite with all the bells and whistles of Top Golf there in Independence, but it's a little keyed down version of it. Yeah.
Yes. There's one. I honestly I'll have to do some research, but I was at this one we were trying to for work, and it's an indoor type deal. And all the booths are the video things where you hit it into the screen
simulator,
and then and it was like that. They had you can get beer and food and stuff, but it was all indoors. I'll look up that thing, but it's probably a little cheaper than the Top Golf itself.
Yeah, we did that for Cooper's birthday. We did a simulator back in November, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, probably the same place that
this was down at another place, but this in Lake Mohawk, they had a little clubhouse there. But anyways, but the point is, it was a fun experience. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So
sorry. What else is new, Nick? Anything else?
That's about it. Yeah, just a good weekend, just hanging around and getting stuff done around the house, and that was fun. So yeah, about it.
Very good. All right, well, guys, we're back on. We shot the last episode last Tuesday, and now it's Thursday the following week. So, have you seen anything in our idiot reviews that you wish to recommend? So, Dean, why don't we start with you?
Yep. Did I mention honestly, I can't remember, but did I mention Glass Onion?
Yeah, did you? No, you texted it to us. We talked about it, but you hadn't seen it yet. Right. I don't think you talked about it on here. Yeah.
I did end up watching Glass Onion. What a great movie. Yeah. I mean, I love that character. I didn't see Knives Out, but now I'm going to.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan Johnson. Yeah, Ryan Johnson does shit Star Wars movies, but damn it, can he do a murder mystery movie?
Daniel Craig's great.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was watching it and I couldn't quite put my finger on like who he reminded me of. It's almost like a updated version of Andy Griffith.
Yeah, sort of.
With the accent and kind of the homespun kind of feel to him. Real smart. So yeah. So I watched that, and then I watched John, Nick and mine's buddy, and Brian's buddy as well, came over, and we watched the.
You watched John?
I just stared at him.
I just stared at him the whole
for 2
time
hours
while he watched sweaty men grapple each other on the television. There.
Also,
we
we watched wrestling.
That's right. That's right. I was out on the other side of the room.
I am sorry I missed that, man.
Yeah, we watched the Royal Rumble, and it was a good time. Jeffrey came over as well.
Okay.
So all of us.
Who won?
Cody Rhodes won the Royal Rumble.
Goldust? Is that Goldust?
His brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Dusty Rhodes' son.
Okay.
Okay.
Won the Royal Rumble, and he's going to go on to WrestleMania. So no,
that's in like April or something, right?
Yeah,
usually?
Yeah. So there was a lot of beer drank, and watching a lot of men grab each other and toss each other over the top rope. It was a good time. It was a good time. Oh, did you guys see one thing I wanted to bring up? Beavis and Butthead, that it's on Paramount. Was it?
Yeah.
It's going to start airing on Comedy Central now.
Oh, really?
So anybody who wanted to watch it who didn't have Paramount streaming now is going to be able, I think, on Wednesday nights watch the new episodes of Beavis and Butthead.
Nice.
Very good.
I wanted to give that update for everybody.
Straight across the news desk.
There we go.
Right to you.
Well, I was thinking that the other day. We were talking about the earlier because we're going to Boston here in the spring.
Ew.
And
Ew.
Ew. Well,
Ew.
There is a there's a monument that's very similar to Washington Monument, and it was for one of the battles that he did, but it's very phallic and same as the Washington Monument.
Oh, so you're going to see the big dick? Where's all the big dick statues? I want to go see those.
Do you think George Washington had a big piece? You think he was packing?
I don't know. Never really thought about it. Really, very much.
Think about it now. Close your eyes and picture George Washington slowly unbuttoning his pants and dropping his brown trousers.
What do we know about George Washington? How tall was he? He
was a tall man. He was over 6 feet.
Is that right? Okay.
He's a very confident man.
Yeah, confident.
You know what I'm saying?
he took on the British. You know what I mean? The British Empire. So he had to at least had big balls. So I imagine he had a big cock to match.
Yeah, he had BDE, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just curious question.
How about that lingo, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you like that? Yeah, the kids. That's the big dick. That's the big dick energy. Kids. And I shortened it up and everything. Just like the kids probably would do.
Joey would be proud.
If you're in the whole brevity thing.
You better have any goddamn BDE, Joey.
No. God, mother.
Lay off. Just slow down. Slow down. All
you keep one of those letters in your fucking pants.
All right. Thank you. Right.
Better.
Energy. Keep the energy in your pants. Bring the rest. Keep the energy.
Slow down. All right. Okay.
Back it up. You, not Joey.
Yeah.
Tell Joey to back it up. That's another.
All right, next.
All right.
Pass. How are you, Nick? So what do you see, Nick? What have you seen?
Well, it's funny you should mention Joey's piece because I actually this weekend saw. No.
Happy birthday, Joey!
Kind of hanging out behind the bathroom stall, just seeing what you can catch a peek of, and I didn't have to lean over too far to see what I saw. So good on Joey, Team Joey.
Very good.
Wow, that's why Dean's mad at you.
Yeah, there you go.
Jealous piece of shit.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I'll be back. You guys talk.
Brian, what have you seen?
I saw. The main thing I watched last Saturday. Ali came over and we watched the new You People movie on Netflix.
Oh yeah, with the
Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy plays. So it's like a modern take on Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So Jonah Hill gets engaged to a black woman, Her father is played by Eddie Murphy, who's like a very devout Muslim. And the mother, I can't remember her name right now. Thank you very much. She was great as well.
From Martin.
Thank you. Yeah, she was great. And then Jonah Hill's parents were played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was fantastic. Right. And David Duchovny played his father in this thing. So they were Jewish parents who were trying real hard to be hip and cool, but just does not go over well at all. And there's a podcast dynamic as well, because he's working for like a trade broker, and he has a podcast with a friend. He's trying to make that work. So that was interesting. They had a podcast. It's a very, very modern feel of this entire movie. So
was it funny?
It was funny. So Jonah Hill was great. I'm not going to spoil anything. The end, a little bit hokey. That's okay. It's fine.
Aren't all those movies like that a little bit?
Yeah. And I
kind of expect it just kind of to wrap up nice and Bowie and
absolutely. Nothing matter with it. It's not rated very high, which is sort of interesting on. But I don't care. We loved it. We had a lot of laugh out loud moments in this thing. So definitely worth a watch on Netflix. So very, very good. I'll just say there's a lot of quotable lines in this as well. All I'll say is there was a quote in this. You have to. What was it? What was the term? I'll think about it in a minute. Sorry.
Okay. Do you have any interest in watching that the one on HBO with the zombies and it's based off a video game?
I did watch that. I watched the first episode. I didn't see the second one yet.
Because I know you're a zombie fan.
Yes, it was The Last of Us.
Yes, that's it. That Last of Us.
Pedro Pascal, the guy that plays the Mandalorian, stars in this. It was pretty good. So it was a different take on zombies. I talked about it, I think, a couple of weeks ago, but it was like a...
That's right.
That's okay. That's all right. But it was like a fungus infection that's out there. But, that it was interesting because it kind of flashed back to the 60s and people were talking about this.
I've heard about that, yeah.
The planet was too cold for these to pass on. But the guy said, well, what if the planet warms up? And people are kind of like, So obviously, and actually, in all seriousness, I did see something in the news. I have to look it up maybe on a break or something like that. But I did see something about some actual cases of fungal infections increasing, perhaps because of global warming and stuff.
I heard that like kind of fungal thing could happen in like ants. I don't know how true that is. Like that kind of whole situation could happen in ants. Okay. I don't know about like zombie ants, but ants nonetheless. So that is weird that like it is it's based on somewhat science.
Yeah, the premise was the fungus overtakes the human body, not unlike a zombie virus, and it wants to spread like a zombie virus. So it just takes over the host body and just wants to keep spreading itself. So. Sure. It's like a zombie. People bite each other and it spreads and all that. So the premise was he has to transport a girl who appears that she was bitten, but she's not infected. So it looks like maybe she's immune.
Oh, okay.
So he's trying to get her to another location, and that's kind of the premise of the video game and the show.
Is that the whole show? Like him trying to get her there to the colony or
wherever it is. Colony? So one colony to somewhere else. And I think that's it. Obviously, they got to fight the zombie creatures or whatever it is along the way. But
so
it was
good.
It was good.
Just watched the first 2 episods of that right before we started this podcast. So it's so
there you
good.
Go.
Yeah. Last of Us, I assume, right?
It's not like headcanon or whatever, but like when actors do the parts or like get parts, so they kind of give a backstory to themselves to like kind of base what the character's going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily going to be set on screen, but like in their mind, they have like a background, right?
Yeah.
Just before Pedro Pascal, just before he started that movie, he did the research or whatever. I mean, not a lot. You can do research on zombies, but I guess he did the research, and for his backstory, he made sure that he had Blake insurance before he started taking that girl across country.
Good call. Good call, Pedro.
And the reason why is because Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency. It's located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571 888-885-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell him that Mando and the idiot sent you. So
very good. And Aaron can at least refer you to a fungal insurance
right
place.
He knows he knows people.
They cover home, auto, fungal.
That's right.
Might see it someday. You never know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
2024. I think
Get that zombie insurance.
The fungal insurance coverage.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So,
all right,
Nicholas,
guys,
did you see anything?
I
Yes,
did. I saw so many things. I can cross one of them off my list there because, So I watched that The Last of Us, which, like I said, first couple episodes have been great so far. I also started watching a show called Shrinking, which is with Harrison Ford and my celebrity best friend Jason Segel. So it's so good.
Apple TV, right?
Created by the guy who did Scrubs and Ted Lasso.
Yep. Yeah. So
Bill Lawrence.
It's really good, man. Like I don't know. I'm a big fan of Jason Segel. I just feel like if we ever met, we'd be best friends. And I just everything he does, I
feel
enjoy,
that way about Aaron Blake. If I ever meet him,
absolutely.
I can be best friends with him.
That's right. Maybe someday you will.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, that's a really good show. The first 2 episodes are out on Apple TV. I think the third one drops tomorrow. I think it comes out on Fridays, but
I'm going to watch it this weekend.
It's fantastic. It's, just without giving too much away, he's a therapist and going through his own stuff, and Harrison Ford is the coworker of his, and it's really good. He's, like I said, just going through his own personal struggles, and he's trying to kind of find ways to help others in therapy by helping himself at the same time and get his life kind of back on track. He's got a young daughter and everything, and so it's just really just I enjoyed every minute of it. I just thought it was fantastic. So far so good on Shrinking. Like that a lot. I also watched a movie that's out on Netflix called You People with Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy.
Yes, I just talked about that.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I liked it. I thought it was good. There are moments at the end that are fuzzy for me because we started it late and there may have been some other things going on. So, but I remember laughing quite a bit. It was pretty good. I liked it.
I would assume you were laughing.
I mean, take that for what it is, but there was some giggling going on.
Mm-hmm.
I also watched. I rented on Apple TV. It's called Offside: The Harold Ballard Story. So Harold Ballard was the owner of the Toronto Maple Leafs from let's see, up until the mid 80s, I think, starting back in the late 60s. And this guy was just a total piece of shit, basically, just a monster, totally, a total misogynist, racist. I mean, and the shit that he would do, for example, when the league introduced putting player names on the back of jerseys, the Leafs were one of the last ones to do it. He didn't want to do it because he thought it was going to cut into the sales of his programs. So if the people knew who the names were on the back, they wouldn't buy a program because they'd know. So if they only saw numbers, then he'd sell programs. So then when the NHL mandated that every team put names on the back, he made the letters the same color as the jersey, so you still couldn't see them. You could only see the number. He was the owner of Maple Leaf Gardens, which is where the Maple Leafs used to play before they moved into the building that they're in now. And the Beatles, he booked the Beatles there for a 2-night, he booked them there for a show. It was in August of whatever year this was. And without even getting a confirmation, he sold tickets and created a second show the very next night with no confirmation from the Beatles or their manager, just counted on them doing just because their fans wouldn't want to be disappointed. So he basically forced them into playing a second show. Not only that, but being in the middle of August, this fucker turns off the air conditioning and cuts off the supply to the drinking fountains so that everyone has to buy water that's extremely high. Everybody has to go to the concession stand and pay for overpriced water. This dude was just a complete ass. I've heard stories that, as being a Maple Leafs fan, there's many stories of the Harold Ballard era and how he just for so long he was such a detriment to the team because his pride would get in the way. He would fire perfectly good coaches. Anybody that became a focal point on the team or a captain that people flocked to that was the center of attention that wasn't him, he'd trade him away, or he'd start little fights with him, or he wouldn't pay him, and just all kinds of shit. This guy was just a monster.
Wow.
But it was quite an interesting watch.
What's the name of this thing?
It's called Offside, the Harold Ballard story.
Netflix?
No, it's on. It's a rent. It's on Apple TV. It's on Amazon.
Okay.
You can rent it on YouTube as well. But yeah, it was good. It was. I think Jason Priestley, oddly enough, did it, or at least he narrated it, and I think was like a producer or something. So
Yeah, he's a huge hockey fan.
I didn't know that. I mean, I know obviously who Jason Priestley is, but I didn't realize that.
I remember like all the celebrity hockey games. He's part of all that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was really good. So yeah, it's I think that's about it for me though, as far as like stuff I've watched.
Oh, did you guys watch that Wednesday on Netflix?
I haven't seen that yet.
Jenna Ortega, she's on there.
That's the teenage girl that you like?
She's not a teenage girl. She's in her 20s. Damn it. Anyways.
Yeah, I was reflecting on what Nick was describing. That's how I run this podcast empire. So the second that one of you motherfuckers gets more popular than me, you're out.
Yep, you're gone.
Either show.
I'm wearing this awesome leather jacket because he turned my fucking heat off.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, you get too sleepy when the heat's on. You get too comfy and cozy in there. You gotta keep
That's what happened a few episodes ago. That's why.
Yeah, right. That's exactly what happened.
No more of that shit.
That's right.
Yep. All right, so guys, we're going to take a break here, and we're going to come back with some pop culture headlines of our Ask an Idiot segment this week. So Dean has an interesting question in the Ask an Idiot segment about OnlyFans accounts. So
how many are you subscribed to right now?
That could be a question.
So put your hand in your lap and listen to these beautiful commercials.
That's right. We'll be back after the break.
Go.
Bringing us back. Whoa.
Yep.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. Pop culture headlines here, gentlemen. I'm afraid I have to start out with a little bit of sad
everything.
news.
Oh, who died now?
That's right. Yep.
A lot of people.
A couple people passed away of note here. You don't know the name, probably. Lloyd Morrisett passed away last
Alanis'
Sunday.
brother?
No, I don't think so.
Good. So he's all right?
I believe so. I'm not sure of that. We'll check our sources.
No.
Okay.
Mr. Morissette was 93 years of age. He was the co-creator of one of the most
Jagged Little Pill?
No.
Oh.
One of the most influential cultural forces of American history.
He has nothing to do with. He didn't do nothing with this podcast. Get out of here.
He co-created Sesame Street.
Oh, wow. That is an achievement.
It is quite the achievement. He co-founded the Children's Television Workshop with his close friend and fellow creator, Joan Gantz
Alanis
Cooney.
Morissette. Oh, okay.
No. In 1968, where he continued to serve as chairman of the workshop until 2000. So he served many, many years and was involved in the creation of that show.
Boys and girls, D is for dead.
Yeah.
What?
Well, Sesame Street, I mean, that was definitely my generation. Maybe not as much with your guys. I know we talked about Sesame Street
No, it was
before on
my
the show,
generation too.
That's it. That's that's the amazing thing about Sesame Street is it's every generation since when
It
it
is still on
started.
the
Like
air.
it's still
Still
going.
on the air on HBO.
I play it
think
for
is
Gizmo
now.
when we go to work. He watches Sesame
Perfect.
Street. That's how he knows all his letters.
That dude loves Snuffleupagus.
Perfect.
He does.
Perfect.
That drugged out elephant.
But anyways, I was say that show for me as a kid unequivocally helped me learn to read quicker than
You
just
better
learning
go
on my
back
own.
and fucking watch more episodes. Jesus.
I need to at this rate. Yeah, at this rate, too much fucking editing and not enough reading these days. But anyway, no, just that's pretty awesome. Just to have the passion to create that.
Do you edit
type
out most of Nick's
programming.
jokes, or does he just not tell them?
Yeah.
I see what happens to Dean. It's very embarrassing to waste all that energy and not get any of them on there. So I don't even try.
Trust me, there's no energy given. You have to worry about that.
Shut up. Shut up.
The fuck up.
Yeah. No, just pretty amazing stuff there. I mean, you think, and that was something that we talked about this on a Keith and Gen X podcast as well. And Keith pointed out too that type of show really was a trailblazer for other children's programming. You think about, I mean, certainly back then you also had the Electric Company and other shows, but even more modern with and stuff like that. Probably your kids too. So just really pretty much not garbage television for kids. You know, it was something that was educational. Obviously, introduced the Muppets. Just fantastic. I used to watch it avidly as a kid. I had Sesame Street records and toys. One of my favorite toys as a child, I had like a big bird that that was like a ventriloquist type of, you could make this.
And its mouth open real wide?
I used to carry that thing around.
I bet you did.
Know? Yeah. Yep.
Hide
Anyway.
stuff
Look,
in it.
Ma, no hands. D is for.
Yeah. Anyway, just rest in peace, Mr. Morrisett. Just fantastic. So, Dina, you see you watch Sesame Street. Go ahead. Any thoughts on Sesame Street or whatever?
Yeah, I do. I'm sure he would be very happy to know that people are, in after his life, that people are talking about fucking his puppets and the characters. It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Also taught children to discover hormones. Yes.
I had a very similar situation. I used to fuck things in trash cans because of Sesame Street.
Very good.
No, you learn a lot from Sesame Street. I think we said it in the last. I mean, the thing started in
68. It was founded.
68. So
so close.
A lot of the people are like dying from there, and I'm not making a joke of this one this time. But it's been on the air for so long, and we keep unfortunately having these conversations here. But because some of the main cast members has died just recently.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So it's the same as the last time. It's very iconic, and now now we mourn the guy who helped bring it to life, not just had a part in it. Like he was one of the founding parents of it, so to speak. So I mean, to live a life of service without without doing he might have been in the military or whatever, but he was a different kind of service to the public.
Yep.
And to know that you touched that many children, is special.
Yep. Nick, any thoughts on Sesame Street or anything in general there?
I think Dean covered it all. Service, touching children. It's just so he hit all the marks. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it is. It's I
was gonna be pissed if I tossed that up there and nobody touched it.
I feel like we like Dean said, we talk about it really is. It is incredible. Sesame Street. I remember watching it as a kid, but it wasn't a big one for me. It was on, and I was familiar with the characters, but it is one that I have paid attention to as an adult and really appreciated, the work that goes into the show and what they try to, instill in kids and try to teach them about managing their emotions and learning things and all that stuff. It's, especially like newer episodes, it's how to handle anger and different things like that, with emotional intelligence as well as, just more than numbers and letters and things like that.
They just started teaching that shit, right?
I don't know.
The emotional stuff, because like they didn't teach that shit when I was younger.
Yeah, clearly. I was they probably did, but it's probably more, of a central theme now, with so much with mental health and things like that I mean, we know so much more about it now than we did, all those years ago. So there's definitely probably more of a focus on it, but it's incredible. It's a great show, and anyone who had any hand in making it all these years is to be commended.
Yeah, a lot of people had it. It was up the puppets' asses.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
The show has continued to evolve over the years, for sure. I mean, it's recently they've introduced a Muppet with autism.
Yeah,
and then they've had other Muppets with different ethnic backgrounds and things like that. So it definitely continues to promote inclusion and everything else here. So it just continues to be a great programming for kids. So pretty amazing stuff. Worst things to leave in your legacy than that, for sure. So very, very good. Okay,
we're gonna leave. I was gonna say we're gonna leave this shit in our legacy.
Did you hear them talk about touching kids?
Yeah. Why do you have what's the only thing on in the luxury bunker? That's the only thing we can get is fucking Convincing Idiots episodes. So Cindy Williams passed away recently, so just
no.
We're playing Shirley on Laverne and Shirley.
Back it up, couple.
You cut out
couple words there.
Oh, sorry. So Cindy Williams passed away recently, age 75. Actress Cindy Williams. She was best known for playing Shirley on Laverne and Shirley. So she was also, prior to that, she was in the George Lucas film American Graffiti. This was with Ron Howard and Harrison Ford. And actually, I did not realize this. She auditioned for the role of Princess Leia to lose the part to, of course, Carrie Fisher. So almost had Cindy Williams as Princess Leia. That would have been a whole different dynamic change. But anyway, I used to watch Laverne and Shirley with my parents growing up. They were introduced on the Happy Days show. I think Laverne was dating Fonzie. That's kind of introduced Laverne and Shirley. Then there was, it was on the air for several years. I thought it was very, very good. I watched it on a regular basis. I mean, I saw an old advertisement recently on my Facebook feed. It was like a Tuesday night ABC TV Guide page. It was Tuesday night television, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Three's Company, Too Close for Comfort, and Heart to Heart. That is jam-packed. That is fucking entertainment right there for you, on a Tuesday night, family night television view. So anyway, I thought she was great on this show. Very, very good. So, rest in peace, Ms. Williams. Dean, were you a Laverne and Shirley fan? That might have been something on your family television. Yeah,
totally was. She was, to me, embedded in my childhood, as well as a lot of TV characters and TV shows. But she was, to me, one of the first. Not only female like comedy duos, but like one of the first straight men, but like straight woman.
Yeah, that's you know what I mean. Very good. That's a good one. Yeah.
Penny Marshall was the goofy one with the voice and the jokes, and Cindy Williams was the straight man to it. She was she had to play the straight man to Lenny and Squiggy when they came in the room and with their antics. She had to be the bad guy, so to speak, but not like where you disliked her bad guy. She was a great straight man. And I'm not one to, look at women and judge them on their looks or body. You guys know that about me. But one thing I do want to say is if you go back and watch American Graffiti, yowie wowie,
handsome woman.
She was a handsome woman.
Absolutely.
That's right, Nick. Handsome woman.
Yep. Okay. Nick, this might have been before your tour. Did you watch Laverne and Shirley maybe on reruns and stuff? Or?
Never seen an episode. I've heard of
All
it,
right.
but I know nothing about it. I've never
Okay.
seen a second of it. Nope. So, but rest in peace.
All right.
No, I know it was a big show and it was very popular. So, yeah.
That's okay. That's definitely before your time. So,
Yep.
Okay. Dave Bautista switching over to the DC universe here, guys. Here, so he people's been wondering what's that.
Are we still in obituaries, or do we transition out of that?
No. We're out of.
I was going to say, did Dave Bautista die?
No.
I fucking missed that.
No. Dave Bautista, he's alive and well. No more deaths.
Okay.
No more deaths here.
Okay.
But he's been asked if he is maybe going to play Bane in the DC universe. Now, Bane is you might know as the villain in the Batman villain. Mm-hmm. He was in the James Nolan trilogy, played by
Tom Hardy. Yeah,
Tom Hardy. Thank you. A very interesting version of Bane.
I was born in the dark.
That's right. In the comics, Bane had a whole venom thing that would pump into his body and make him huge, and he broke.
Which they stuck pretty close to in the awful Batman and Robin movie, with Poison Ivy and Bane,
That's
where he was
right.
just.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They kept it straight to the comic book on that because that's exactly what it was.
That's actually how I get Nick ready for this podcast. Is I pump him full of my venom.
That's right.
And it gets pumped through his veins, and then he gets ready to go.
Podcast time.
You got to see Nick when he doesn't have
his balls.
That's right. You got to see Nick at normal size. Very tiny. Very tiny. Yeah. No, but so he basically said, "No, I'm not doing that. It's the DC universe." He sort of let some. Then this is before the announcement that came out within the last day or so that we'll talk about here in a second here. But he basically acknowledged that James Gunn is going younger with the DC universe, and that he is actually, I didn't realize he was my age, 54 years old. So
yeah, he's really old.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he basically said, I can't do it physically.
Why don't you look like that?
There's no way.
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah. I got some work to do.
Well, have you seen him with his shirt off? It's a little bit.
Yeah, now this is
pumping full of my venom, and holy.
This is pre-venom. I'm in pre-venom mode on the podcast
I see.
right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, so I thought that was interesting, and then along the same line, so James Gunn did just announce, 2 days ago, so 31st, the first 10 projects of the new DC universe led by James Gunn and Peter Safran. So I thought this was kind of interesting here. So
I'm wild about Safran. I don't know if you ever knew that about me.
Mm-hmm. So the first one. So obviously we know this one on this year. So you're going to have the Flash coming up. They're saying now the Flash is going to kind of reset the entire universe. Now I remember years ago in the comics, they had the whole Flashpoint storyline, which is similar to this movie. So Flash basically tries to race back in time and save his mom from being killed. They kind of touched on this on the Flash series and everything here, so too. And he kind of messed up the timelines. We know with the Flash movie, we're going to see Michael Keaton reprise his role as another version of Batman in that universe. But in the comics, after Flashpoint, DC took the opportunity to do just that. They reset the entire DC universe years ago. Everything went back to issue number 1. Everything. So they had younger Superman again, Batman, the whole thing. So they just kind of reset everything and kind of went forward from that point. Now they've kind of messed with it ever since, but it sounds like James Gunn probably saw that storyline. Maybe that's what he's thinking. This is the opportunity with the Flash movie, maybe to reset the universe and kind of move on from here with younger characters. Anyways, we got the Flash this year. We know we got Aquaman 2 coming, or 3, whatever the hell it is, coming up. We got the Blue Beetle this year. We got Shazam 2. After that, now they're going to get more into James Gunn and Peter Safran's plan. So
he's from what James Gunn said is that the upcoming Superman movie, I guess Superman Legacy.
That's correct.
If I'm not mistaken, is going to be like the first of phase 1, so to speak.
Gods and Monsters, he's calling the phase 1 here.
Yep.
So, yeah. So you got Superman Legacy, So it's a younger Superman working at the Daily Planet, like the classic comics, trying to balance. It's the classic Superman, Clark Kent working.
It's
Superman.
What people wanted to see Henry Cavill do.
Right.
You know what I mean? You went straight from Smallville to killing
Superman.
Zod.
That's right.
Yeah, people wanted this. People are interested in that dichotomy of Superman and Clark Kent, and you didn't give it to him. You gave a whiny Clark Kent for like a quarter of the movie who didn't want to do, help anybody. And that's not what Superman was. Superman was, he probably had moments, but like they had him like really kind of in the dumps and not wanting to help everybody. Superman is the corny, good guy. He is the all-American truth, justice, and the American way. That's what Superman is.
Right.
And I think, and I hope they get back to that.
You should tell America to get back to that too.
Right?
Right.
But, man, let's start with Superman, right?
No, it's a great place to start. I mean, if you think of DC Comics,
I'm trying with my leather jacket, but
you're gonna think of three characters probably DC Comics. You're gonna think of either Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, probably Superman first, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. Let's get that character right. J.J. Abrams is still making a version of like a different Superman universe. It's a black Superman, which is I don't know if it's going to position it to be sort of an offshoot, whatever. I don't know, but
with the Flashpoint,
interesting
like you
concept.
said, you could do so many. You can do as many different. You can do Robert Pattinson's Batman, which isn't going to be in this particular DCU, but it is going to be part of the different universe, but still in DC comic universe. Is that, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, they just announced a sequel to the Batman as well. The Batman.
See,
2.
there you go.
Yes,
so you could have the same character, different ideas and different directors and everything. Just they're not in that universe.
Yeah, well, look at comic books in general. How many times does a character get rebooted and redone in this storyline or that storyline? And how many variations of Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, Iron Man have you seen in comics over the years? And there's multiple different versions.
In the beginning of this podcast, Nick was a small calico kitten. Not many people know that.
That's my favorite version of me personally.
Mine too. They're adorable.
Especially when I lick my little warm milk out of my saucepan. Adorable. At least I think it's warm milk. It's warm and it's milk color.
It's my venom.
No, but you're right. I mean, in the comics, even they definitely have different storylines that are outside the normal storyline, but it's an interesting story with that character. Like Batman, they do a ton of these. It's an offshoot of Batman. It tells a story. It's not necessarily running with the same universe, but that's okay. It's an interesting Batman story.
You could do so much.
That's all we need. It's perfect. You don't need to worry about tying it. It's okay. It's fine.
Like all of us have multiple pairs of pajamas, so you would imagine so would Bruce Wayne. So you could do so many different versions.
Right.
Sometimes you feel the purple velvet. Sometimes you feel like the black velvet. Sometimes you feel like that kind of charcoal gray velvet.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a royal blue velvet. Sometimes it's a dark one. I'm not done. There's many colors. There's a red velvet, kind of like the cake. Sometimes perhaps a rich golden velvet color. And perhaps another time there may be a bright orange when you're feeling very festive.
When did he turn into a Southern gentleman for this list? It was like just morphed right into a Southern gentleman. I like it.
A nice mahogany brown velvet, perhaps. I'm done now. Go ahead.
All right. He ended with Cleveland Brown, apparently.
That's
a nice mahogany brown.
Yeah. That's good.
And sometimes you just put on your nice thin man thong. See where that takes you in the night. Okay.
Another movie they're doing.
I need new pants.
Is called The Authority.
I think the rest of the podcast should be just like this for all three
I like
of us.
that. I would do a whole podcast like the Southern Gentleman.
Southern Gentleman.
Yeah. Yep.
I say it's not a bad idea. I turn into Foghorn Leghorn.
That's actually what mine ends up doing.
Yeah.
I have to, if I raise my voice, It goes from Southern Gentleman to a foghorn leghorn. I said, now, boy, get over. Oh God, boy, you're killing me.
I simply can't keep this excitement under wraps.
Put a pin in that. That's going to be the outro right there, I think, right there.
Which one?
Foghorn Leghorn / Southern Gentleman. I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Southern gentleman Bruce Wayne in his pajamas.
That boy's about as sharp as a bowling ball. Yep. All right.
And I can stick my fingers in both of them.
I don't know what the authority is. The authority's on the movie that they're making here, so it's Wildstorm characters. I think this is like a military group of characters, something along that line. I'm not exactly sure what these are.
I think it's going to be like very close to if it's one I'm
Like
thinking
Suicide Squad-ish?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like the gray bad guys, like not good guys. I mean, they're good guys, but they're not villains. But they do kind of things in questionable ways.
Okay.
Guys that do bad things but still have good hearts down in there. You just got to unlock it sometimes.
That's right. That's right. And then the Brave and the Bold. Now, this is going to be a live-action Batman movie that will have Batman and Robin. Mm-hmm. Robin will be the version of Damian Wayne, who is the son of Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul. So Ra's al Ghul, you might remember, was a pretty famous Batman villain for many years, but it was portrayed by Liam Neeson in the Nolan trilogy.
No, Damian. And that boy's father's just as fucked up.
That's right. So his daughter had an affair with Bruce Wayne, and Damian was born and came back as Robin. So it's going to be the first live-action Robin since Batman and Robin. Played by
Nick,
the great...
Hey, Nick, when's the last time you saw live-action Robin?
I ain't ready for somebody else to play Robin, man. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I want it.
Why didn't you bring him back? So Donald is Robin.
What else is he doing?
Tired, fat.
I'll say that Christopher, it's your manager. Turns up there that DC comic book's gonna do a brand new movie there. It just so happens to be there's a slot for Mr. Robin.
No, but I'm in my 50s. I can't play that.
You're the boy Wonder Boy. It's all a state of mind, you see. You're only as young as you feel. All you got to do is feel 27 again.
Well, I barely fit into my pants now, let alone, that skin tight suit. How do you expect me to do that?
But perhaps you've done a lot of squats there, boy. Maybe you're a little thicker around the hips and quads than you were before. It'll be all right. A cape will cover it all up. It'll be just fine.
I like Southern Nick. I like this.
I do too.
Yeah.
Let me take a drink of my sweet tea.
Yeah.
I'm just going to egg him on the whole fucking show.
All right, they got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is going to be, I think, a live-action movie as well.
There'll be women playing superheroes? That's shit.
I hope this Woman of Tomorrow's got tomorrow's dinner planned and the rest of the week for that matter.
Yep, that's right. I like Southern Nick movie reviews. I like this. Swamp Thing, another project here coming up here. So, how this is a movie or a series? Oh, it's a movie as well. Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
I never knew that was a DC thing because there was a show. Wasn't there a
couple
TV show?
Movies,
like in the '90s or was it movie? Yeah, like I had action figures of them.
And it's it's going to be a horror movie. I thought it may have said rated R. Maybe I read that wrong, but I know it's going to be DC's foray into a horror movie.
It's a much more horrific film. But still, the Swamp Thing interact with other characters. He said, "I like it." So it's interesting. It's also funny you see the different versions of. So Marvel has the Man Thing. Now, Man Thing made an appearance in the Werewolf by Night.
I love a good Man Thing.
My friend, that boy Joey's got a big old Man Thing as well. Yes, it does. Congratulations, Joseph.
And the television series Creature Commandos. Now this is what I was thinking of here. That's at the references crossed here. So this is going to be like a military band of So it's a Frankenstein's monster teaming up with a werewolf, a vampire, and a gorgon to fight Nazis in World War II. I love it. I'm watching it. Whatever.
Yes.
When is it available? That's great.
Right.
So definitely has a feel also of the Suicide Squad that James Gunn did a very good job with. I know you all agree with that.
Yeah.
But real quick, in Swamp Thing, isn't it really hot in the swamp, especially in the South?
Oh, it gets quite swampy, my friend. The term swamp ass is not for nothing, let me tell you. Oh, yeah, especially down on the bayou.
sorry.
My Lord, it does get hot. Woo, I need another sip of this here ice-cold southern sweetie just to cool me off just a bit.
He's now getting to like preacher form.
Where is my fan?
I don't know. You don't have any on this show.
Oh, you're listening out there, mother. Oh, you're listening out there. There's my fan. My sweet mama.
All right, also Waller. So he's really running with this whole Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's not too much, right? So now you got Waller. So Waller is based on it's the woman who ran the Suicide Squad. It's going to be the same actress. So it's her series, right? So now you got, I hope I hope they're not saturating this too much. It's like
is it Viola Davis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So she's going to play the same character for a series.
She's good. I think she won an Academy Award, didn't she? Or something like, or at least nominated?
I don't know about that, but she was very good. Lanterns. There'll be another series of the Green Lantern Corps. It's going to focus on how...
Somebody turn on the goddamn lantern, please.
That's right.
I want the green one, the blue one, the mahogany brown one, the royal blue one.
I need the lantern to check on the plantation.
That's right.
Yes.
Make sure we keep the piss away now.
Easy.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the vermin, Dinas.
Yeah. So it's going to focus on Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So it's I like this. Reintroduce Green Lantern, get the whole Lantern Corps. You do tons and tons of it. There's so many Lantern Corps across the galaxy. But the main two were Hal Jordan was the first Green Lantern, and John Stewart was one of the first black superheroes. So
fantastic.
These guys are going to team up.
Oh, you can tell a joke on Comedy Central, and then you can just wear a goddamn Green Lantern. Big deal.
Paradise
John
Lost.
Stewart.
It's going to be a series that focuses on the island where Wonder Woman grew up. So the Amazon island, full of where Wonder Woman was born.
Beautiful country down there.
Yes. Yes.
He's going to cut you, Mike.
We got some big, healthy women down there.
There's some large, healthy women.
That's right.
Only a few men can truly satisfy their urges.
Mm-hmm.
Come with me, Joseph. You and I will head down to the Amazonian island.
All right, real quick. I do want to touch back real quick. Viola Davis won Best Supporting Actress in 2017. She is Academy Award winner.
For what role?
In the movie Fences.
Okay.
She was nominated in 2021. She was nominated in 2012 and 2009. So she's a nominee and Academy Award nominee and winner.
Okay. There you have it.
So why wouldn't you give her own show? You know what I mean? If you have her, not disposal, but if you have her on your
absolutely
on your team,
great. She's great. All that role in all these movies, the series Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, she's terrific. So, absolutely, we'll see more of her for sure. And Booster Gold, I'm not familiar with this hero, but the concept is very interesting.
Is that Turbo Man's sidekick? Are they giving Booster a show?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think it's loosely based. Like he does have like a I'm assuming probably the creators of the movie were fans of this character because it does have a very similar look to Turbo Man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have like the gold goggles and stuff. So the concept here, so this guy lives in, so he has ability to time travel and he pretends to be a superhero because he knows the events that's going to happen. So something along that line. So in the 25th century, he is a disgraced former football star who uses a time machine on display in the Metropolis Space Museum. So he travels back in time and pretends to be a superhero. Interesting concept.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Absolutely. It's
I'd
like,
go back in time and be a fraud. Totally.
I'm just going to say, Nick, that Dean has traveled back in time to pretend to be an entertaining podcaster.
There you go. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And really, in the future, people don't think I'm funny, but when I come back here, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
What?
yeah. Of course.
The crickets always sound off every time you tell a joke, so
That's
they're
right.
fans. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
But I can't hear those crickets. That's weird.
Nick, I hear those crickets
I hear
chirping
them.
now.
Sounds like they're starting to ruckus out there. They're getting a little louder now, aren't they? Yeah.
Hopefully the volume goes up over that goddamn accent at this point.
Yep.
Oh, now don't take it out on me, young Dean. Come on now. It don't have to be handled this way.
First of all, thank you for the young part.
You're young in comparison to my southern gentleman, of course. You are certainly on the back nine of your life. Do not get me wrong, but you are still young in comparison to me.
We need a name for this guy.
Cecil. His name is Cecil.
Cecil. All right.
I feel like his name is Cecil.
Very good. I like it. All right. So we talked about the chatbot technology 2 weeks ago in our Ask an Idiot.
Yes.
Interesting here. Since that time, so Chat GTP. That's the free app that you can pull up the free site that you can pull up right now and do the AI chat with. They may charge us fee later. I don't know, but it's still free right now. We've messed around with that a little bit here. And this is a headline from I think it's NBC.com, but it passes an MBA exam given by a Wharton professor. So the bot's performance on the test has important implications for business school education, wrote Christian Turwish, a professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School. So they basically asked it some questions, and it was able to pass a college exam. So that was something that we talked about a couple weeks ago, to where some universities are thinking about how they're going to have to, put some rules in place and all that for, to kind of, I don't know, so students can't just pull up a chat bot and ask it
How
an
do you
exam
do
type
that?
question. Well, it just must have been a paper. It must have been just like it's asking the questions that might be posed on an exam, and the answers.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you prevent that? You know what I mean? Like,
I
how
don't
do you? What could you do to prevent? I mean,
I think you have to be the honor system. I think it's the only way you can do it.
Well, kids aren't fucking honorable. Nobody's
No.
honorable these days. You can't trust anybody. Like the way I cheat, I don't know much about like computers and stuff. I just ask Cecil, and he gives me all of the answers I need. Like, Cecil, what do you think of my beautiful new jacket?
Well, that jacket is truly a time capsule from a bygone era, may it be. However, it does look wonderful on you.
See?
Perhaps because you look vintage as well.
See, Cecil.
Yes.
Perfect.
also fun on that. A little side note: did you know that you can actually, if you Google, I don't know what, like, there's an AI chatbot that will make a 30-second clip of it. It'll generate like a Drake song about whatever you tell it to. It could be about you. You can put your name in. It could be anything, and it'll make a 30-second like little Drake song about like whatever you say. Anything. You could make it about convincing idiots. You could make it about a basketball. You could make it about whatever. It's crazy.
You're just naming things in your room right now.
I'm looking at things. Yeah, there's basketball. It says convincing idiots behind Brian over there.
Pretty amazing. I think you can also ask the chat, but not only did it pass an exam, you can also ask it, what tattoo should I get in 2023?
Ooh, that's good.
And it's probably going to tell you in part, you should go to
The tattoos are a disgrace. You shouldn't clutter your body with such things of that nature. It's
It
not
might.
what the good Lord intended. If he wanted it that way, you would have been born with tattoos.
Hey,
Cecil
Cecil.
Bot would probably say that. Cecil Bot would say that. But Chat
See-
GTP, I think, would tell you to go to Golden Heart Tattoo, our friends over there at Golden Heart Norton on Facebook. Go check them out if you're in the Northeast Ohio area. Give them a call, 234-706-2982, and their website, goldenhearttattoos.com. Get yourself a tattoo in 2023. Maybe get yourself a Cecil Bot tattoo. I don't know.
Sure.
I like it. Or a Cecil Nick tattoo. I like that.
That's a Cecil.
I like that. It's Nick like this right now, but like with the Doc Holliday hat.
Yeah.
I envision.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
I pictured him
I like
fatter
that.
with like a comb over.
Like the Colonel from Kentucky Fried
Yeah.
Chicken or something, all white
Yeah.
suit maybe.
But balding on top and just a comb over going on the top
just
there.
string it
Yep.
across there. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cecil Bot may also, I don't know, I'm not sure, Dean. So Cecil Bot, I don't know if Cecil would have a OnlyFans account. I'm not sure.
It's secret, but he's got one.
Yeah, so Dean posed an interesting question for the Ask an Idiot segment here, just in general. If you want to lay that on us, please, sir.
Yeah. All right. So the original idea is when we're kids, like I'm sure all of us guys are sitting around. It's what would you do for
Jerking
$1
each other off.
million?
Oh, never mind.
That's after this conversation. Actually,
Get a
it
big old
leads to
circle
it.
with your buds. And,
Right, put the
okay.
piece of bread in the center. So the idea really is, what would you do for $1 million? You know what I mean? That when we were kids, that was the question. Now I moderned and updated it to, gentlemen, what would it take for you? Like, is there an amount of money that would make you have an OnlyFans page? Where you would have to do certain things, maybe nudity, maybe not nudity. What would you be willing to do on this OnlyFans page? And so somebody's going to come to you and go, okay, Nicholas, you get subscribers wise, we can guarantee you $100,000 a month.
Okay.
But you got beat up the old wiener meat on camera,
Yeah.
So do you do it, Brian?
How much money a month? How much money a month?
100K a month.
A month, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll do it right here, right now for you guys for $10 on the spot. You can Venmo me, you can Cash at me, or
God damn
Apple
it,
Pay. I'll take
where's my wallet? Fuck.
100. Absolutely. Like I know that it's
Mhm.
I don't want to say it's taboo, but it's certainly a divisive subject. But you know what? If people are willing to pay for that type of stuff, and you're not hurting anybody, you're not being abusive or anything, it's like, why? More power to you. If people are going to hand you money for, and you're comfortable with it, it's certainly not an source of income that was allotted to somebody, in years past. But
Correct.
it's a new age, and also
age.
there's anonymity to this. If you want, you don't have to show your face. It's your thing. You can shoot it however you want. If we joke around about feet pics on here all the time and stuff like that, but if you just wanted to have OnlyFans of your feet and just throw them out there, and somebody's like, yeah, just feet, I guess. You can do that. It doesn't have to be.
My
No one has to know
OnlyFans
who you
page
are.
is just me cracking my toe knuckles.
Yeah.
That's all. It's just for a half hour. People, give me tips and whatever, and I just cracking my toe knuckles.
Yeah, crack your toe knuckles. Run a comb through your toe hairs. It's
Right. Right.
Brian, would you what? How do you feel? You were from as I mentioned, a bygone era. So how would you feel about the OnlyFans craze?
Not for me. To me, it would not be something that.
Always go morals.
Well, it may not bother me as much, but I worry that I would never want Peyton to be in a position to where her dad, there's video or somebody found or saw if I can't tell my kid what I'm doing to make money and not feel bad about that, then it's probably something I shouldn't be doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't want that to be found someday and have her try to have to live with it. And, all the money that I may have been able to give her doing that type of stuff would not offset for me her feeling embarrassed or ashamed of something that her dad did to get that money.
Okay, that's a good way to put it. That's a fair argument. Yeah.
Dean, what do you think?
When my son, just before he goes off to college, he'll be of age, he'll be an adult, and I'm going to send him an old VHS tape and a wad of cash, and it's going to be my OnlyFans page and saying, "This is how I paid for your fucking college."
Why is it on a
Enjoy.
VHS tape, and how did you how did this happen?
I was just gonna put into how old I am. And he said it on
How's
the
he gonna
fucking
play
computer.
it? How's he
You
gonna?
can't put a goddamn computer in there. All right, I give him the link to my
How
own.
do I
What is this?
play
An
this?
external storage drive? What is this shit? What is this?
How do I play this? Yeah.
It's in a giant box. No, if I could pay for my son's college by fucking slinging the one-eye goop-de-goop everywhere, fuck yeah.
I'm already doing it anyway for free. I might as well
Right.
just make some money.
now there
And
is
the only person watching me now is the cat. So
Mhm. There is something to that, to where it's like, there is a temptation, certainly, to where if you did something that you would not prefer your kid knew about, to start them out in life in a better place without having student debt, for example, that is definitely tempting.
That's
to where it's
appealing.
like, yes, because then
I'm gonna fuck myself so the system won't fuck you.
There you go.
How about that?
It's like,
See, I show my son
hope
how
that-
much of a piece of shit I am on a regular basis. That way, when something like this comes up, he'll be
It's
like,
no surprise.
"Yeah, that makes a lot of sense." I'm not surprised.
No, but you hope that your legacy is. Every parent wants a kid to do better in life and everything else, right? So,
I turned off on camera so you didn't have to. Sorry, go on.
well,
My legacy is a shitty podcast and shit stain underwear. What else is there?
No, but like I said, in that respect, that would be something you really like to think about, to where if you did this one thing, 1 month, your kid would not have any college debt and start out in a pretty good spot in life. If there was a certain level of anonymity, there's still a risk that your kid may find out, right? That would be tempting on a different level, to where if you were pretty assured that she may not, but again, there's still going to be a question of, where'd you get this money? You know what I mean? You still have to answer that to your child at some point or another. How did you get this money? And have to try to, I don't know. I don't want to lie to my kid either. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Think of it this way. We are in the 21st century. The way the youth look at society in general is totally different than the way, you did, or you do, or I do, or our parents totally did. If something like that comes up, it might not be as appalling or shocking as you might think. They hear what you did and the reason, they go, yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, they look upon things totally different than they did, when you were like a youth in the 30s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but still, there's a level. There's a level that your kids don't want to envision their parents doing. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to picture their mom, taking it up the fucking rear. I mean, but you sooner or later your mom did it, right? Right, Nick?
Probably. Yeah.
Well,
probably. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
All I know is that your mom did it at least once. Oh.
Hey, taking it up the rear, actually, she should have on the night I was conceived. It would have fixed a lot of fucking problems.
Hey, all right, I'd sign off on that.
Yeah.
Ned, you should have fucked mom in the ass. Things would have been a lot better. Actually, that was in the birthday card they sent me. I should have fucked her up the ass. This wouldn't be necessary.
That's
Love,
right.
Dad.
That's right.
Now I'm out $450. Thanks a lot.
When they remembered his birthday.
That's right.
Yeah. 2 months later. All right, so
He keeps a can of anal lube next to his on his table so he remembers to text me on my birthday.
So this segment started with a only fan question. So we're way off of that right now. So
How did you not know this would end here?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Any other thoughts on the only fan question?
No.
Anybody? Okay.
My last thought is simply, whatever you guys got in your pocket right now, I'll show you my butthole for that.
Okay.
Ooh, lint. Here you go.
All right. Okay.
That's actually what you're going to see too. I don't clean well.
So Dean is willing to do anything on camera for just a nominal charge. So hit us up on the page, and we'll see what happens here.
Feel free to donate to the show. You never know what you're going to get. I mean,
that's
right. Luck of the draw.
Who knows?
That's right. Yeah, we're trying to
next week. Nothing but the leather jacket.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. So, on any other final thoughts you have, Nick? By the way,
no. I like OnlyFans. It's fun. I don't know.
All right, excellent. Excellent. All right, so we're going to end here, and then we're going to come back with our. That's right. The Super Bowl is coming up a week from Sunday. So this episode is going to drop the Monday before the Super Bowl. So Nick suggested we do a Super Bowl themed main segment. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite anything Super Bowl memories of the games, moments, halftime shows, commercials, some of our favorite things about watching the Super Bowl over the years. We're going to talk about that after the break.
Hold it. Good morning, sir. You never know when the blitz is on, but if you don't pick it up on time, you're looking at a 300-pound Sandman. That NFL 94 for Sega Genesis and Super NES. Full season schedule and bigger, faster players ready to tuck you in. If it's in the game, EA Sports. It's in the game.
3.
Thank you for tuning in to another presentation of the National Football League. Rather, the Convincing Idiots podcast.
Hey, that's us.
We are back for segment number 3. I am Millennial Nick. I'm here with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. And so this week coming up, by the time you're listening to this, you should be getting geared up for what is probably a pretty well-known sporting event, I would say, at the end of the week. The Super Bowl is upon us. It is a big part of really pop culture, certainly in America. That's like, everybody watches the Super Bowl. It's the big game. People put TVs on sale so that you can get a nice big-ass TV if you're having a party. That's a very common trend. So over the years, we've all watched many Super Bowls, I'm sure, between us. Many memories of games. Commercials are a big part of it as well. Big time of the year for bettors, people that place bets and wagers on different over-unders or the color of Gatorade or how long the anthem takes to sing, all that stuff. So it's a lot of facets to the Super Bowl. So just for starters, I mean, do you guys have, let's just start with games of the past. Are there any Super Bowls that stick out to you specifically, like the game that you remember, a game you really enjoyed watching? Dean, any over the years that you recall?
I think the one that I recall the most that, is very special to me is my dad sat me down, and we watched it together. It was a January, I want to say 15th, 1967. It was the Super Bowl one. It was the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Packers won them, and I remember my dad pulling me close and he got me in a little headlock after the Packers won. He goes, "Oh, you ain't who I thought you were. Get the fuck out of here. Go, get out of here. Go."
But for that brief moment,
for that very
you
brief
felt
moment,
somewhat what would be affection from your father.
Warm inside.
Yeah.
That was just a lit cigarette on your neck again, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's different what I put on the back of Nick's neck earlier, but
also warm.
That's affection. So what about you, Nick?
It's a nice story.
What about your game?
Certainly. Okay, so, Brian and I mentioned we were Dallas Cowboys fans. So nothing will quite top the first Super Bowl when they beat the Bills. Was that 92, 93?
Yes,
It was back-to-back,
right.
92, 93. So those are actually my first real memories, really, of watching sports. Like, that's the first time. I mean, growing up, it was just instilled in me. You know what I mean? Like, we rooted for the Cowboys. You put your Cowboys stuff on Sundays. My grandfather, my dad, and, everybody just wore their Cowboy stuff. So it was always on. I don't know how much I really paid attention to, but when they were in the Super Bowl, it's especially in those early years, those were like, I mean, I paid attention. That's the first time I remember paying attention to football games themselves. So that, and as well as the victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers a few years later. So those are definitely memorable games. And as we go along and talk about memories outside of the game, I'll dig further into those games. But also, one of the ones that really sticks with me that I always remember as a very exciting game was the Rams and Titans. Was it 2000 or 2001? That was the one that the Titans lost that thing by like a yard. Like that was
a good
right
game
there. I mean,
Yeah, I was second. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
and at that time, I was a big Marshall Faulk fan when he was playing, so I was kind of an honorary, like, the Rams were kind of a team that I pulled for, especially while Marshall Faulk was on the team. So that was definitely a fun one. I also really remember the first
Nick.
2000. Okay, yeah. I also remember John Elway's first Super Bowl. I believe that was against the Packers when he finally, I mean, all those years, John Elway, great quarterback, and you watched him growing up. And when he finally did it, I think he won the next year against Atlanta as well. He ended up winning a couple.
That's correct. 2 in a row.
But I definitely remember the Elway Super Bowls as well. And then it seems like ever since then, Tom Brady's just in there hoisted a trophy every time other than that, which we didn't even talk about on like our pop culture.
Yeah, he retired.
The greatest of all time retired. Like I forgot to even mention that, but it's wild. So there's really not much more to say about Tom Brady. We can probably just cover it here. I mean, the numbers don't lie. What he did's incredible. I don't know if anybody will be able to do what he's done.
He might be the greatest football player of all time.
Yeah.
Arguably.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I've got no problem saying, football's a tricky game because, all the positions are so different. But, I mean, you can't show me
like
a quarterback that's better than him. Like, I think he's the greatest quarterback that's ever lived. So that might be blasphemous for people that hate him or that likes this guy or that guy.
I don't like him.
It is what it is.
But numbers are numbers.
Yeah. So, but so definitely, yeah. But Cowboys games aside, and that Rams Titans one especially always sticks out to me.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Brian?
Yeah, that was a good one there. I remember that one. So to touch on that for a second, so that was Kurt Warner when he made his just incredible story. He was packing groceries, literally got a shot with the Rams. And took them all the way to the Super Bowl and won it. And it came down to that incredible play where the Rams stopped the Titans on like the 1 yard line or something like that.
That's right.
One of the most amazing finishes of any Super Bowl you're going to. And for me personally at that time, again, like you mentioned, that was 2000. I had found out not long ago that I was going to be a father. So I was really freaking out. I had friends over watching the game. So I recall it as having this whole emotion of friends are here, the game's high emotion, I'm already freaking out, thinking I'm planning to be a father. Then Peyton was born later in September of 2000, and of course the beautiful thing after that, but at that time I was very nervous and scared in my life. It was a whole thing then. So yeah, quite the memories there. And then I share your same memory, Nick, with the Cowboys. So I had became a fan as a child because of my good buddy John Cooper. I became a Dallas fan in grade school, so he got me into the Cowboys. Started rooting for them back then. And a lot of tough times rooting for the Cowboys. The Cowboys in the 80s went to 3 straight NFC Championship games, lost 3 in a row. And then including the catch game with Joe Montana, the famous Dwight Clark catch. Then they went to the championship again the next year and lost again. So tough times. And then in the 80s, Cowboys were terrible. Went all the way down in the late 80s, as Nick may know, to 1-15. One of the worst years. And they'll right around this time, Jerry Jones buys the Cowboys, puts in Jimmy Johnson. his first year with Troy Aikman as the rookie quarterback. They go 1-15. The next year, they win like 7 games, just missed the playoffs. They draft Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin is already there. The next year, they make the playoffs, lose in the divisional round to the Detroit Lions. You may forget about that. And then the very next year was that year, Nick, where they went all the way, they beat San Francisco on the road in the NFC Championship game. And that was almost like a Super Bowl in itself, just getting there and all these years. And then you wonder if they're going to have a letdown. And as you know, just absolutely demolished the Buffalo Bills.
Like 52 to 17 or something.
52-17. That's exactly right.
Yep.
They were one touchdown. Go ahead.
I mean, that's all well and good, but like, who didn't beat the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl? I mean, come on.
Yeah,
it happened a lot back then.
Yeah, Buffalo went 4 times in a row and lost to Dallas 2 years in a row. Dallas won the back-to-back championship. So, anyways, that moment, Nick, was when the Cowboys won. It was like, for me, it was the whole frustration I felt as a child was finally erased. It was something I could hang on to. I remember watching the game with Cooper. Just amazing, terrific. So that from a fan's perspective, that first one's going to be tough to beat. And certainly there's been a lot of great games over the years. I mean, we had the Tom Brady comeback. He mentioned Tom Brady against Atlanta Falcons. They're down like 28-3 or something ridiculous.
Yeah, that was wild. I forgot about that
there's
one.
There's no way Atlanta's going to lose this game. And Tom Brady said, fuck that. Came back, won that game. Pretty amazing stuff, and just really cemented his legacy that game alone, let alone going to another whole team and winning with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And even a couple years ago, I mean, San Francisco was beating KC, I think 20-10 or something like that in the fourth quarter. San Francisco was all celebrating and having fun, and Patrick Mahomes said, pardon me, I'm going to pull my own Tom Brady here. And the Chiefs win their first Super Bowl. It was literally 50 years they were since they celebrated their first one. So that was a pretty amazing one recently as well. So many good games, a lot of good comebacks. Giants comebacks, Adam Vinatieri's heroics with the Patriots kicking the last-second field goal a couple times. So for the most part, I mean, it's over the last recent years, most of the Super Bowl has been more competitive than not. Probably over the last several years now. Yeah, they should be. Like the Rams won. Yeah, that was a yawner.
Like this year coming up, you now have both first place teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I guess yes, you're right. That's for top 2 seeded teams. You're right. Mm-hmm.
That's the way it should be. The best of the best going against the best of the best.
Yep.
So,
yeah,
I think honestly, a couple of my favorites. I don't know years or whatever. Like you guys do, but I do know that like I like the storybook endings, like Peyton Manning winning in his last and then retiring. Yeah, John Elway did the same thing.
Yeah,
true.
And it's what Tom Brady. Yes, Tom Brady won another one when he went to Tampa Bay, but like he could have ended a storybook career, still been in the Hall of Fame by winning the championship, in New England and then retiring.
Yep.
Yeah.
But, that is what it is. Now he looks like somebody's bougie aunt, and he's now retiring with no wife. So, is what it is.
Yeah. Now, do you guys still, is it still something you get excited for? Is that day still special to you that you set aside? You're going to, whatever's going on, do you get together with people and sit down, or you're not as into it as much these days?
Not as much as I used to. I used to like hosting a bunch of people coming over and eating and kind of making a whole day of it. But yeah, I haven't done that in a couple of years, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about the same for me. We always had Super Bowl parties, either, growing up and stuff like that. And for many years, I mean, I haven't been as into football in the last 10 or so years as I always used to be. And maybe that's, in part because the Cowboys just haven't been there hasn't been a lot going on there. I mean, 100%, if the Dallas Cowboys made back to the Super Bowl at some point, I mean, that would be, that kind of excitement would have me amped up. Like Dean said, if there's like a good storyline or something like that, it's a little more enticing. But yeah, it's I don't know, it's not quite the big thing for me now is Super Bowl squares. Like I follow along with the game to see if I hit any money.
Right. Sure.
That's basically
You remember that
height.
one? You remember the one year, Nick? We had the squares for work.
Yeah.
I was at your house watching it, and it snowed so bad that it cut out at the end of this.
That was one of the Seattle ones. Seattle and somebody. Yeah.
Like I was close to the money, and then the fucking thing went out because of the snow. You had to go out there with a ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
a couple
Fucking
years
blizzard.
ago. Yeah. I remember the blizzard. Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's right.
Now that rolls into a good one though. Like you guys have Super Bowl memories as far as parties and things like that. Like for example, we were talking about some of those Cowboys Super Bowls. My fondest memory ever of winning a Super Bowl, and it's to this day every time the Super Bowl rolls around, it makes me think of it. In this very home, which my grandparents used to live in, when the Cowboys beat the Bills for the first time, my dad and my opa, my grandfather, were losing it. Just absolutely insane. Just couldn't ecstatic. And that's, I think back to it, there's so much that goes into it. And I'm like, I wonder if that's why I'm so fanatical about sports, is because they were. Like it was,
Sure.
That's what it was. And it's like, there are times where I'm in my head and I think about just the possibility like the Leafs win. And I kind of it makes me tear up just to think of what it could be like. But they were so elated. I remember my grandfather popped a bottle of champagne and was pouring champagne on my head and in my hair and in his hair. We're all three doing somersaults across the living room floor with champagne just everywhere. I mean, it was like,
that's awesome.
Especially as a little kid, it was wild to see grown-ups act like this over sports, just a team that you had nothing to do with. It's just, so
that's absolutely why you have this.
It's over the top fanatical, just because it's it makes you feel. It is. I mean, all sports and things like that are a form of entertainment. They're a distraction, and they're something to have fun with. Sometimes you get too wrapped up in it. It's not always fun, and you're having a bad time. Flip side of that, no pun intended. My dad, the Steelers Cowboys Super Bowl, we hosted a party at our house.
Yes.
We had people over in the basement. My dad had to go upstairs at one point because it was getting real close. It was the Cordell Stewart, Steelers at the time and things like that, Jerome Bettis, and they were making it interesting. And at one point, we're all down in the basement.
It was actually Neil O'Donnell was the quarterback for them.
It wasn't Cordell Stewart. Are you sure?
Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But I digress.
Who in the fuck would argue with the stat man?
Why should I question this?
The audacity.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember we're all downstairs and we hear this thunderous crash. I run upstairs and we had this. It wasn't a recliner, but it was a giant chair. It matched the couch, but it was built like a couch, but it was a chair, like this big honking chair. And it was fucking flipped over. My dad just fucking lifted it and just flipped it. And I was afraid. I'm like, Dad, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. Just go back downstairs. And I was like, oh, okay. So there's the flip side of the
this was your house at the time
with guests over. Yes.
That's not how this works. You can't do that in my house now.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely stuff like that. I mean, good Super Bowl memories. Another one, I believe you guys remember the year that Tom Brady and the Patriots went undefeated, went all the way to the Super Bowl, and then lost to the New York Giants.
Yeah, that was fun.
Eli.
So I was at my buddy's.
Was that the helmet catch?
Yep.
I believe yes, I believe so. Yeah, It was. I was at my buddy Bo's house, who we recently lost this past year, and I'm over there with another friend of ours, my buddy Gary, who Dean knows both these guys. Both had passed away now in the last handful of years. We were all just hammered. We're at my buddy Bo's apartment. We're hammered. Everybody's rooting for the Giants, right? Because it's just Patriots are winning every year, and New England's undefeated. Seems like no chance. So everybody's just collectively rooting for the underdog, unless you're a Pats fan, right? And I just remember we're all plastered, and when the final whistle blows, and we're like, oh my god, we were just jumping up and down, and we're drunk and being crazy, and like as if we just won the Super Bowl. My buddy Bo and my buddy Gary just start. I've got a beer in I think I had 2 beers in my hand. They just start picking me up, hoisting me in the air for some reason. And then all of a sudden they're carrying me sideways and I'm holding beers there. We're all, yeah. And for whatever reason, somebody opens the door, they carry me outside and toss me in a snowbank. Cause it was and it was just the most random drunk thing. And it was just hilarious. I don't know why, I'm not sure why, but that was a good memory. Like I said, I miss both of those guys, but it was just fun times getting together. That I do miss. I miss that, kind of a reason to get together, a reason to have a big party and stuff like that. It is fun if you can get into it. It's definitely a good time.
Yeah.
So, you guys have Super Bowl memories other than Dean, other than maybe having cigarettes put out on your back, or
I'll add to that Super Bowl with the Steelers and Cowboys, Nick. So Cooper and I, again, so the guy that got me into the Cowboys, Keith, that did the Jet X podcast with, super Steelers fan.
Yep.
I mean, the man literally named his son Steel after the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is no joke.
Yep.
Okay. That's a fan. They hosted a party. Cooper and I went there. It was like us two with
I named my
Cowboys
son.
gear.
I'm a Browns fan. I named my son Sadness.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes sense. It's like, and there's maybe one other Cowboys fan. They kept us in the basement for a while with a TV down there, and they're all upstairs watching the big TV. Steelers stuff everywhere, balloons, all that stuff. So Cooper and I is like, okay, we're fine down here for a minute, but then it's like, Cowboys are winning this game. So we kind of we integrated up. We went upstairs with the Steelers fans, and it got a little bit close. Probably the moment your dad overturned the chair because Pittsburgh scored a touchdown, and we made it close. And then Larry Brown intercepted an O'Donnell pass and ran it. That was so he became the MVP. But when he intercepted that ball, we're sitting in the living room. I remember jumping up and punching the air in excitement, not realizing that they had a ceramic moon hanging from a ceiling fan.
blasted that shit to dust, didn't you?
Just absolutely. I didn't even see it. I punched the air and hit that moon and it shot up and I got a lot of dirty looks there, needless to say. But at that moment, I really didn't care, frankly, because it was
this
so
a
much.
Steelers fans' home as well?
Oh yeah, Steelers.
So not only are you in their home celebrating, this is Keith's house. Okay, not only are you in his house celebrating his team losing, but you're also destroying his property at this point.
That's right. We were just elated, sitting in a Steelers home, winning that game. Awesome. Anyway, I get together with friends every year. So the people I went out with tonight for the Cunningham, we typically go there. We're doing that for probably close to 10 years now. So it's a lot of fun. We still make the time. Let's get together. Let's get some food. Let's be together. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the commercials. The whole thing. I like that. I like to experience it with friends every year. It's a good time to set aside and just sit, chill, and watch a whole football game start to finish. So. All right, so Nick, you want to talk about anything else? You anything else you want to talk about? Commercials or halftime
we could. Anything you guys want to talk about? I mean, I know we're running a little long here, so we'll do a quick rapid fire. You got
Yeah, we got to see Janet Jackson's boobie one time.
We did, yeah. So halftime show, is that your favorite halftime show ever?
Why? Of course. Why wouldn't it be?
So the wardrobe malfunction. That was 2004 already.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That definitely set the world ablaze at that point. So that they after that whole fiasco, I remember watching that live. Then they started to go with the older acts for several years. The Rolling Stones, the Who,
the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers one year.
Yeah, for many.
U2.
That's right. And now, of course, they've changed it up since. But
we ain't gonna have no more titties on this show. No more.
That was it for a while. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, it's funny because I think last year was a glare. They've done it before last year, but last year was after the ratings of last year, I believe it was the highest ratings for a Super Bowl halftime show maybe ever. I know it was insane. Plenty of people tuned in for that, and I'd be lying if I said that wasn't one of my favorites ever. It was just kind of fun and kind of a different. They tend to shy away from newer music, and that's not even newer music, but it's now become classic. The classic hip hop artists of the day are now classics. It's been so many years. So last year's with like Mary J. Blige and Dr. Dre and Eminem, 50 Cent being there. Like I don't think he was advertised to be there, so I definitely lost my shit when I saw 50 Cent show up. But and Kendrick Lamar as well. So that last year's I thought was phenomenal.
I was over the moon when I saw Half Dollar come out. I was like, holy shit, this is incredible.
$50 time, baby.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I also remember there was prior to the Janet Jackson thing, there were, at least I think it was prior to that, there were years where they kind of mixed old and new. For whatever reason, there was a year, I think it was like NSYNC performed and Aerosmith performed and Britney Spears was there too. Like it was like
That makes sense.
they tried to do like a marriage of like to make everybody happy, which was kind of odd. I don't know, but I
if I were to take a guess, I would say that sounds like a 1999 situation.
Yes, I want to say it was early 2000, but it was some early 2000, late 90s, something like that.
Okay.
But I do remember one of the favorite ones that I've seen recently here as well was Lady Gaga when she did her halftime. She like rappelled from the roof of the of the stadium, and I just thought that was really just showstopper shit, really cool. So she's always awesome. But yeah,
that Lady Gaga is quite the performer.
She is. Yeah. So.
The best, for me, one of the best ones, arguably the best one ever, 2007. This is when they were doing the quote-unquote older acts, retro acts at the time. Prince. I don't know if you ever saw this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
2007. Came out, it's pouring down rain in Florida, and they were worried about the dancers and everybody performing in the pouring down. This guy came out and just blew everybody away. Phenomenal. It might have been one of his best live. It's Prince, but it might have been one of his best live performances ever. So if you have not seen this, it's on YouTube. You can go check it out here. He plays, at least a medley of the main Prince songs that you wish to hear. Of course, I think he closed with. I'm pretty sure it was Purple Rain. Closed with that. Just amazing stuff here. The guy was such a huge talent. Makes you reflect on what a shame it was to lose him too early, but one of the best of all time. I remember in looking back here in the early 90s, 93 was Michael Jackson. At that time, that was a huge. So he came down, I think, in a helicopter or something crazy nuts.
Yeah, that was one of those iconic ones when he was on like the Dangerous tour and stuff, and he had the glass. He just stood there for what felt like an eternity. Just all these lights and all, just standing there like statuesque, and everybody's just losing their shit. He's just standing there, just one strand of hair.
That's right,
hanging down, just glasses.
It really
on,
has been like known as like the show of the year. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That was like, something.
Yeah, I mean. Like what in 67, the Super Bowl one, I believe that halftime show because it was held in Los Angeles.
The band, it was like a high school, a college band or something.
Oh, I thought it was like just a homeless guy like taking a shit. And they those were like, zoomed in real close. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
I think you are wrong. It was a college band.
It was the first time for everything.
Yes, but I think the Michael Jackson too, Nick. I think it had if I recall correctly, you even had 3D glasses. It was even 3D. So you got your special 3D glasses for whatever promotion it was. And you could watch the halftime show in 3D at the time.
What kind of loser would like run out to get 3D glasses just for the fucking Super Bowl halftime show with Michael Jackson? Jesus.
Yep. I had them. There you have it.
This guy.
Yep.
I don't know if they had 3D glasses this year, but I was always grateful for the moment when Madonna kissed Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. That was a good one.
That was the MTV.
Oh, that was the VMAs. Never mind. That was shit.
Not even. Wrong show.
I like to try to insert that into things as much as possible.
You like to insert a lot of things.
Yeah, some of these, I'm looking through some of the top ones. You forget about some of these here. We had the Rolling Stones in 2006. You already mentioned Lady Gaga. Paul McCartney in 2005.
Yeah.
That was...
I know Katy Perry did one. That was the big stage show as well.
That was a good show. That was good.
Yep.
Yeah, Katy Perry's hits were great in that show.
And stuff. That was pretty amazing.
Yep.
Beyonce in 2013.
Does it say what the first... show was like when did they actually start this? I know I made the joke earlier, but when did they start doing performances for the TV and halftime thing? What?
We'll have to look. I don't know the answer to that. We'll have to look that up. I'm sure that was, that was later on for sure. I don't know what to see.
Okay, let's take a pause right here because I want you to do more research and look it up and then insert it audio right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that information.
Sure. Yep. All right. So obviously, one of the main attractions of the Super Bowl has been commercials over the years, right, guys? So, do you have any commercials over the years that come to mind? That's been some of your favorite.
I feel like those are something that kind of come and go. They fade away. I never remember them that well for years later. Like it's like I'll
Cindy
think about them
Crawford
for
drinking a fucking Pepsi
Yes.
in the desert at that little thing. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah.
That's
at
iconic.
the,
I
at the
mean,
vending machine. Yeah,
92, Dean. 1992.
even back then,
Puppy-
got my wiener meat going.
There you go. Wiener meat. Puppy Monkey Baby is the one that comes to mind immediately
there
as
you
a Mountain
go.
Dew. Puppy Monkey Baby. Yeah.
The frogs, Bud, why?
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that
Yep.
lived on far longer than the Waz. Actually, Budweiser.
Wow.
Yes,
They
that's
were
right.
big for that. Was I think started as a
Budweiser
Super Bowl
always
as well.
was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the Bud Bowl for a while. That was interesting.
Yep.
Yeah,
The two
Clydesdales
bottles.
playing the Clydesdales and playing football
Yep,
for a while. That was a good one. You know?
I like that one with the just a few years back, Seinfeld and Superman.
Right. Yes.
Driving around in the car for I think it was American Express, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he was
good.
yep, he had an Amex campaign for a while. You're right. I think one of my favorites was in 2012, the Volkswagen commercial. Remember this? The little kid dressed like Darth Vader trying to use the Force.
Oh, yeah.
Opening the
And
door, the automatic
his
hatch.
dad was using the remote from the house, and the kid was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
That had 50 million views online. That commercial went viral back at the time.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What the ones I like now, where they start the campaign like a month before, showing like kind of like a preview for the commercial, and then you watch the halftime show or whatever to see the full commercial or what's next, and they give you the date of the Super Bowl. I like that. I like those campaigns that kind of drives people. Maybe some of these people that wouldn't watch Super Bowl, they're going to tune in just to see, the conclusion of this commercial. It's brilliant marketing.
Right.
I enjoyed the Miller High Life ones where the guy just comes on and goes High Life because the price to have a 30-second ad during the Super Bowl was so crazy.
Right.
So he just pops on and goes High Life. That's it. That's
Those
the
were
whole
good.
commercial.
Those were good. Yeah, the stickers commercials have been good over the years. A couple years ago, they had the one where Betty White would tackle the guy.
Yeah,
right.
And it was I don't know. There's so many good ones here. And then I remember back in '84 was one of a huge one at the time was when the Apple Macintosh computer was introduced. They had that whole big George Orwell 1984 commercial.
Yes.
It was like the future. That was one of the most famous Super Bowl commercials of all time. It was like a whole Orwellian thing.
You said 84?
84. Yep.
Nick, when were you born?
88.
Okay, just asking.
Yeah. All right, I know it's late here, guys. Any other commercials or anything that you remember that you want to mention, or anything at all, Nick, on Super Bowl memories? I know this is your segment here. I don't want to step on it.
No, I think we pretty much grabbed it. That was it, pretty much. I mean, those are the main pillars that I think of: the game, the halftime show. Obviously, the commercials are a big deal about it as well, and just memories tied to it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all of it.
Okay. Well, it's certainly an American holiday, kind of, for many people.
Can I bring that up and just make that suggestion? I honestly think we need to make the Monday after the Super Bowl a national holiday for everybody.
Or just move it. I don't know why it's not Saturday.
Move it to a
doesn't make
Saturday.
sense.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll take the day off on the Monday. I'm just saying, like, why? I know football is typically played on Sunday, but like, it's
I
cool.
agree.
Why do you make a game? What time does it even start? Like 8 or something?
6? No, it's like 6 o'clock.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Like
WWE now does their stuff on Saturday nights.
Yeah.
And they realize they get more viewers, because people don't have to stay up till 11 o'clock and have to be at work the next day. So they move to Saturdays.
I'm with you. I think it's the whole weird tradition of football Sunday and this and that and the other. I don't know, but I'm with you. They should do that because it'd be even more of a party.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You get more viewers on a Saturday.
That's right. All right. Well,
we solved the world's problems.
We solved the world's problems, and we
once
are
again.
Now, many people have compared us as the Super Bowl of podcasts, if you will. Right.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. I heard it yesterday, actually.
When I said it to myself in the mirror. You
That's right.
are 1/3
of the Super Bowl of podcasts. You are 1/3 of the Super Bowl of podcasts.
That's right.
First of all,
You-
it's nice that you think that I know fractions enough to get that right, but no, I didn't.
You are a certain percentage that is undetermined of the Super Bowl of podcasts.
Yeah, and Nick's outros, Dean, have been compared, like the greatest commercials of all time
Of course.
have been aired during the Super Bowl. Some of the greatest podcast outros of all time have been recorded on this very own podcast, and I think we're about to get another from Nick.
Oh, well, Brian,
Right
let
now.
me tell you, you are much too kind. A gentleman is not quite going far enough in describing your marriage, fine sir. My goodness. Well, for that, you must support this gentleman and all of us here on Convincing Idiots. It's so simple to do. My friends, next time you visit your local public library, simply ask if you may use the key to get into the secret room that houses their computer machine. There, you can find your way to the World Wide Web. I know it sounds fancy. I know it sounds like some city folk garb. But let me tell you, boys and girls, it's well worth your time. Because you can find your way to Convincing Idiots' social media accounts by simply typing into Google Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree. And there, my friends, you will find links to all of their social media accounts. Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will. You can also find that information on their website. Oh, you might say, now, Cecil, where could I find this World Wide Web site? Well, it's very simple. It's www. Those 3 W's count for World Wide Web. It's a secret internet hacker code. After that, you type convincingidiots.wordpress.com. And there you can find all of the places to listen to this podcast each and every week to pass your time on your front porch on a nice, hot, sunny day with your paper fan and your sweet iced tea. So, without further ado, I must thank you, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, for your time in joining us here. So for Convincing Idiots, I am Cecil, your millennial Nick.
I'm Dean, the Zennial or whatnot.
I'm Gen X Brown.
Have we convinced you to join us for some more Southern hospitality again next week on Convincing Idiots? Enjoy that ball game. Cheers.
Everybody, Gen X Brian with Millennial Nick and Zennial Dean. We need more people besides Nick's mom watching us. Give us a like and subscribe.
Ham gravy.